A lot of beginners ask me, hey, how do I get started with affiliate marketing? How do I get started with SEO? How do I get started getting clients? How do I get started with copywriting? And today I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about how I got started and what I think that you can do. Hi there. My name is Bruce. I've been doing SEO, digital marketing, and affiliate since 2015. I love this stuff. I make these videos because, well, I like to talk about marketing, and hopefully I get to give some information to people that will help them get started or improve what they are already doing with their marketing. Okay, so how do you get started? This is a question every beginner asks, and I asked it too, and I asked it many, many times, and I probably didn't take the advice people gave me. Um, the way you get started is just by doing it. I know that sounds terrible. I know that's not what you want to hear, but you just got to just try it. You're going to suck. The first things you do are going to be terrible. They're not going to work, but you have to get started. Well, I guess technically, before you actually take action, you need okay, you want to do SEO, yeah, like watch a couple of YouTube videos or something about like how to set up a page, how to do page titles, URLs, uh, H tags, maybe anchor text, how to put up a website, something like that. Then just do it. If you're trying to do copywriting, there's tons of blogs online because it's writing, so you're going to be reading more about copywriting than you are like watching videos. Everything else is more or less watching videos, but copywriting might be the most valuable skill out of all those because AI, even newspapers back in the day, like copywriting totally transferred seamlessly over the internet. Yeah, there might be some slight differences. Doesn't matter. It could be on TV. Copywriting you can use. It'll always be valuable. SEO, digital marketing, all this stuff. I just did it. I took way too long. I spent way too much time reading stuff. Copywriting. I studied copywriting, took courses, and I would practice it for like, I don't know, at least 2 years. And I applied for some jobs and I like tried to pitch some people, and I could never get anywhere with that. And copywriting, like all this stuff, you only start really learning once you get paid. And so I started a freaking pressure washing business just so I could write the ads. I didn't know anything about pressure washing, and I had no desire to do any type of pressure washing. I just read a blog post about a guy who had a pressure washing business, and he like massively increased the business by doing some copywriting on a flyer, just tweaking it a little bit. And I was like, I could write one of those. And my buddy happened to have a pressure washer, and he said I could use it. Um, so, and it took me at least 2 years from the time that I wanted to like start to actually starting before my first ad went out. And nobody paid me. Like I bought courses on it and stuff, and then like I did that first mailer, and I don't even know if I even got a call on the first mailer. It was took me a couple took a took a while to make money with sending out my first direct mail because I didn't know what I was doing. But once I actually started it, I was learning. So how you get started, you got to do. Because I've never been able to get hired with any of this stuff. SEO, no one has ever hired me as like a job. I've been able to convince business owners to let me work on their website as like them hiring me as a consultant or them hiring my agency. But before I was able to do that, I tried to get jobs. Like I could rank stuff, but like I didn't have any confidence to sell it. But I was always terrible, I guess, at job interviews, and I went on so many, and nobody ever hired me as like an employee. Affiliate, same thing. I wanted to do affiliate for years. I didn't know what it was, and I was kind of learning what it was after I was in SEO for a while. But I was like, I don't know how to do it. And then my buddy Greg Morrison, I was buying his coaching training SEO programs, And 1 year, he's like, okay, I'm going to show you guys how to do affiliate stuff. I'm going to do a example affiliate site. And so I watched that, and then I just did the same thing just on my own. But with all my own like money, and then me applying to the affiliate programs. So that it's just taking action. And that's the way it's been forever. Like, I'm trying to think, the only time somebody hired me. So like earlier in my life, when I got out of college, all I wanted, even in college, I went to college. That was a mistake, even though I graduated. Like, it's a giant waste of my time. But I went because everybody else was going to college, and I guessed that I needed to go. Anyway, when I got out, all I wanted to do was go skiing. But I was like, how do I get a job in skiing? And so I took a year off. I didn't take a year off. I worked in hotels the year after college to save up as much money because I figured hotels would have jobs in ski resorts. I wanted to go skiing, and there's hotels. And so that's what I did. And then I didn't know anybody. I moved to Lake Tahoe from North Carolina. I didn't know anybody. I had a timeshare. My mom got me a timeshare for 2 weeks. And then I was living in these like cheap, crappy motels for a little bit until I got a job and got my own cheap, crappy place. So I just did it. And skiing is such an important part of my life. I don't talk about it on these things, but, and then after that, I got into wine. Wine, I actually did get hired for a couple jobs, but like I had to go knocking on doors and just try and do all this stuff to get into the wine business. But then from there, it was copywriting, and nobody was giving me a chance copywriting. So I had to create my own small business. SEO, nobody gave me a chance. I had to just create my own small business. I was taking some training classes. So the way you get started with just about anything is to just take action. And you're listening to a guy who did not take enough action. When I was doing SEO, I did not take enough action. I think I bought my first SEO training course. I think it was a year and a half before I cold approached a client. I ended up actually getting that client. But I took way too long. I should have waited like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months max. So I took way too long. With affiliate, I should have been messing around with that, even if I was failing like 2-3 years before I even attempted it. PPC. Oh yeah. I just had to do that on my own. Like, I knew people that I could pay to like buy an hour of their time here and there because they knew what they were doing. And then I would get on the phone with like Bing and Google and be like, hey, and I'm not even a great PPC guy, but I do make money with PPC. And now I'm like fairly decent at it, and I can like, I know some stuff, but like no one's ever, like I've never had a job doing PPC, never had a job doing SEO, never had a job doing copywriting. The only thing out of all the stuff I love and really wanted to do that I got a job was wine. And I had to just go out and knock on doors and do that on my own after I had a pretty fair experience in the wine industry, I guess. So yeah, so the way to get started is just to do it. Take a course on something, and while you're taking the course, like copywriting, digital marketing, whatever, sales funnels, while you're taking that course, go out, do it. And if the course is like, if part of it is getting clients, which a lot of things is, go out and try and get clients. Go to networking things, try to get clients, get your first clients, and do the best freaking job possible. Even if you're not really making much money, even if you're not even breaking even, but you're getting some money in, that's going to pay for you just got to have that money to like force you to learn stuff. So I hope that helps. I know there's no secret magic, but I wasted way too much time not taking action. Way too much time. I'm way behind. So don't do what I did in terms of waiting years. Just go get started. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer you. And if you know someone who's trying to get started, please share this video with them. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.